Are we looking at the perfect storm where Chinese buyers are going to come in and run up already high prices of real estate here in our local market? All right, as we know, the Fed has been working on quantitative tightening, right? They're pulling money out of the market. They're doing this two ways. One is they're pulling money out of the market. They're not repurchasing assets as they come due, treasuries, mortgage-backed securities, and things like that, corporate bonds. You can see here the money supply where it jumped up. This is actually the Fed's balance sheet where it jumped up at the beginning of COVID and ran up. And we're starting to see it trend down, right? So the Fed is doing two things. They're pulling money out of the market and they're raising short-term interest rates, trying to get inflation under check. But not all countries are playing by our rules. They have different really goals, right? And they have their own economy to worry about. And so what we're seeing right now are the Chinese. They're coming out of lockdown and they are pumping money into their economy to get it to bounce back. So while US is trying to pull money out, the Chinese are pumping it in. And at the end of the day, real estate, just like most business and commodities, are global. So we've got this sandbox and we got the Fed over here with a little kitty shovel pulling sand out of the sandbox. If you think about it as money floating around the system, right? We got this little kitty shovel pulling it off, and the Chinese are coming in with a dump truck, dumping more sand in the sandbox as we look at that as liquidity coming in. So the China cash squeeze is easing as the People's Bank of China adds 1 trillion won in 3 days. So they're adding money. What we're seeing right out of the gate, we're seeing Chinese crypto markets boom. What do people do with all this free money? We saw it here at the beginning of COVID for us. It went into crypto, it went into stocks, it went into all kinds of stuff, RVs and boats and all kinds of things, right? And so we're already seeing that. So Chinese projects, we're seeing double-digit gains. We're seeing 92 billion that came into the market through reverse purchase contracts here recently over the last week. And so obviously everything that I see in news, I think real estate related, right? And at the end of the day, here in Southern California, here is California as a whole actually, Chinese buyers make up roughly 32% of our foreign buyer market, right? So China in this instance, when I'm talking about China, we're including Hong Kong and Taiwan in this. And so they make up 32% of the market, and it's a big drop off from there. We've got India buyers making up 17%, and then Mexico at 13%, right? So combined, the next two, the 2 and 3, don't even make up what Chinese buyers buy in our local California market. Now, when you break that down into SoCal, there are some certain cities that I just have an absolute large pool of the buyers that are focusing on those cities, right? If you go over to China, I've been told certain cities market there. And the average population knows in the bigger cities, they know New York, they know San Francisco, they know LA, and they know Irvine. Irvine, like what? And, it's true. So they know it's one of the safest cities and things like that. And so we always keep an eye on that market because what's going on global, through trade war and things like that, in the past has had a great impact on that local market. So here you can kind of see when Trump's in office, we've got trade war kind of starting with China. We see some of the buyers in China coming down, right? This is the total number of residential properties purchased by Chinese buyers in the US as a whole from 2010 to 22. So you can see some interesting ebbs and flows. And then it popped up, right? All right, we got to a new norm. We had a huge influx. And then boom, COVID hit. Obviously it dropped off a cliff. And so when you look here at 2021, there were 6,700 purchases. That's got a long way to run up if we kind of get back to our norm, right? I mean, it can 4X from here. It can go up 400% just to get to a normal level. And what does that equate to? Well, those 67 homes in 2021 was 6.1 billion. So we could easily be looking at 25 billion in purchases of Chinese, let's call it overseas buyers this year alone in the local real estate market here in California. So these are some of the numbers I'm looking at. And we've got this perfect storm, like I talked about, where Canada is now banning a majority of foreign purchasers in their country because their real estate's gone on a tear. And so if you're over in China, you're now done with your lockdowns, you want to get money safely out of the country, especially maybe you're Taiwan, you're Hong Kong, your goal is to get it over here, maybe Canada, maybe the US. Well, now Canada is shut off for business, right? Excuse me when I cough. So where do you go? Well, you go to where a majority of buyers have been coming for years now. And one of those greatest cities is Irvine. And so, you see articles like this, why Asians have become the dominant group in Irvine and what that means for the city. When there's a lot of, Asian restaurants, Asian markets, they feel at home. On top of it, as we know, they do a lot of marketing, right? And it's one of the safest cities. So Irvine is the safest city of its size for the 17th straight year. This was last year, 2022. So since 2005, Irvine is continually ranked safe. It is an ideal location for people who are moving from out of the country. They just want to feel safe. They want their money to be safe. And we've got a lot of new construction in the area. They don't have to worry about the home, right? Here's some of the city of Irvine sister cities. They do a lot of marketing overseas. So you've got Japan, Mexico, Taiwan, and Korea. So you've got a great mixing pot in Irvine. It's a great city. I sell a lot in Irvine. I love Irvine. It's very safe, but one thing it isn't is it's not super cheap. I know I have a vivid memory of selling a property in Irvine. Prices were kind of going straight through the roof. I set an all-time high comp in this one neighborhood. And then for a year and a half, because China had a stock market crash, for a year and a half, that price sat stagnant. But the surrounding cities that didn't have as fast of a run up when China's stock market was running up, all these cities around Irvine kept going up at the normal rate. So some of these cities are seeing 5 to 8% gain, and Irvine was flat through that same time period because they had such an early run up when stock money was flowing free in China. People were pulling it overseas. So it's very interesting. It's got its own economic, real estate economic cycle going on there because there is such an influx of money from overseas. So if you look here, it is still a strong seller's market in Irvine. We are low on inventory US wise. We're very low in California. We're even lower in Southern California, and Irvine is no different. It is a seller's market, and it's not even a slight seller's market. It's a pretty solid seller's market. And when we're talking about what some of these days on market are, if you look at the second tier price point, roughly $2 million price point. Oh, here, let me scroll this up. Yeah, this $2 million price point here, the average days on market is 17 days. So a $2 million home is on the market on average 17 days. That's right now as it sits. This is the January of 2023 data. If you guys are pre-approved and you're looking in Irvine, I would not wait. There's a very good chance that things could really run out of control here because there's just not enough homes. And I think that Irvine might be a place where a lot of overseas buyers start to park their money. And this isn't just a China situation. Japan, again, they are also doing quantitative easing, pumping money into their economy, and there's a good chance that's going to see its way overseas as well. So if you guys are out there, you're pre-approved, you're sitting on the fence, you're not sure if now is a good time to buy in Irvine, I would say absolutely get in while you can. For some of you, you might miss the boat. You might not be able to jump over that divide from being a renter to being a homeowner if you wait too long, because I really think that we're going to see a good influx of money coming over. Like we had seen in the past in some of these charts here, where we're looking closer to maybe 25 billion a year rolling through. And this is US as a whole, but if you look at what that means to our market, it means that we're going to see a big chunk of that. So again, if you guys are out there, I wouldn't be sitting on the fence. If you're approved for a home in Irvine, I would get in while you can. Get the ones that meet your needs, not all your wants. That's really the story right now. If you follow our channel, how about this? If you don't follow our channel, go down, make sure you hit like and subscribe. We are the House Heroes, and this is Real Estate Daily. We go over the latest as it pertains to real estate and mortgage. And if you like these updates, please hit the like. And if you guys have been following our channel, as you know, a lot of the economists that we've been bringing articles onto this channel about and from have been saying there's a good chance you might be able to refinance here in the next year or so. So I would get in while you can and really look at that opportunity to refinance and get your payment down over time. But if you don't get in and rates drop, you might be in the feeding frenzy over those homes. And if you don't have a large amount of assets to win those bidding wars, if you're not bringing in cash from overseas, you might not be, winning that battle. Whereas there is absolutely no competition on a refinance. You just get that lower rate. So my goal would be get in while you can and then refinance down the road. But no matter what, time is your friend in real estate. If you got a long-term outlook, you're going to do great. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. If you guys have any comments, please comment below. And if you guys need any help, likewise, please comment below. And if you're overseas looking at moving into Irvine, definitely comment below and message us. We'd love to help you out any way we can. Other than that, peace and take care.